It's been quite a bit of time, no? Last week, like we were just reaching balancing equations. Have you guys gone and like revised valencies? Sulfate का मतलब क्या होता है? What is the valency of it? How to form the formulas? All of that.
Kind of.
No. ठीक है. We'll see. Like ये पूरा chapter is completely based on this only. So you'll be given reactions and you need to figure out, write the equation for it, balance it, and all of that. We'll do that one by one. Just as a refresher, this is what we had done last class. Yeah, so write down this equation and tell me. You can either send it on chat or you can, like, if you're writing it in your book, you can send me a picture of it, either or. Silver bromide on exposure to sunlight decomposes into silver metal and bromine gas. Akshinya connected. Okay. Agrim, I haven't seen you. Switch on your video.
Just a minute. I guess it's having some issues.
To sort it out. Yeah, issues. Network issues, yeah, Zoom issues.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Zoom issues. It's not turning on. It's showing it's being used by the app or something.
Come on. Send it.
Mom, do you have to write this?
Yeah, you need to write and send the equation. Either you can write it in your book and then send the picture to me, or you can send it over chat. Either what? I need an answer from you guys. Either way.
Ma'am, do we even have to write the state?
Yes, it'd be good. Megha has already sent in. Nice. States are all correct. Equation is balanced. Very good. Good. If anybody is blank, no, immediately bata do, because again, symbols are like either you know it or you don't. You can't like deduce it from this. So silver bromide, silver का formula पता है ना? अगर नहीं पता तो tell me. I'll give you the hint right here. Otherwise, yeah. Samriddhi states are all correct, but bromine gas is just like chlorine, fluorine, iodine. Sujal, you also made the same mistake. Your states are all correct, but bromine gas का formula क्या होगा? Kashvi, yeah. Okay. So Samriddhi, yes. So now balance the equation and resend it. So I'll just give you guys what is what. Sujal, you've corrected it. Good stuff. Anika, I'm not gonna like send it on private message, no? Abhi bataya, so everybody will get to see it. Silver bromide is AgBr. Silver is Ag and bromide ion hai, bromine is Br. So based on this, silver metal क्या होगा और bromine कैसे exist करेगा? Figure it out.
Mom, I'm a little confused in balancing.
Balancing, okay, no issues. Try it out. क्योंकि अभी इसका next हम balancing पे ही focus करेंगे. Balancing में doubt है अगर कुछ ऐसा है तो no issues. We'll deal with that. So silver metal is Ag. Bromine exists as Br2, you guys. Shana and Dakshini have sent on WhatsApp. Give me a minute. Silver bromide. Okay. One small correction. Who is this? Shana. Instead of writing it below the thing, right? Write the states in the same line itself. Okay.
All right.
And just after it, like AGBR के बाद brackets में put the solid. You don't have to write it niche. Otherwise, yeah, equation is balanced, states are correct, formula is correct. BR2, 2 should be in the subscript. That's another correction. So when you're typing it and all, like, ठीक है, काम में हो जाता है, but when you write it, it should be in the subscript. Take care of that. Dakshinya has sent, okay, silver bromide, sunlight, silver and bromine. Awesome. Correct. 100% correct. Sujal, yes. Now we got it. Absolutely right. No, wait. Sujal, nahi. Silver bromide.
Oh, wait. Yeah, that's what I was confused. The earlier one was already balanced, I guess.
Yeah. Like what you sent earlier was correct only.
That you said balance it, so I thought it was wrong.
Oh no, I asked Samriddhi to balance it. What you sent pehle, Sujal, you were right only. Yeah. और किसने नहीं भेजा? Megha sent, Samriddhi sent, Shana sent, Kashvi formula दे दिया, तो give me the equation. Anika has sent. Arshi, I have not received from you. क्या हुआ? Okay, something with your mic, can't hear you. Sujal sent, Dakshini sent. Tia and Agrima.
Yes, ma'am, I'm sending.
आशिया क्या हुआ?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sending. ठीक है.
I've sent the corrected version. Is that the way you write it? Then I'll accordingly make the changes.
Yes, absolutely. What you sent in pencil, Abhi? Yes, Shana. Agrima, Tia, and Ashia, you guys working? Kya, like, okay, Agrima has sent. Yes. There you go, you got it. ठीक है. Tia and Ashia, क्या हुआ? What's... Ashia, mic, कुछ तो issue. Send it on chat. Send it on chat. अगर mic कुछ issue आ रहा है तो. Yeah, Sarah, like, okay, reactants will give products. Arrow. And also you have not balanced it. Dakshini is asking in actually, if balancing is where you're stuck, it's fine. Like at least send me the equation. Iske baad we're going to work on balancing. Okay. Dakshini is asking, is sunlight considered as heat in a reaction or light? It's a reaction condition. Like sunlight, only when it is exposed to sunlight or any sort of light, the reaction happens. So just put it on the arrow.
Ma'am, because I was confused. If sunlight is considered as heat, then any type of heat can cause this reaction.
No, like sometimes it depends on the type of energy. Like sunlight, when we specify, it's a particular wavelength of light that is causing the reaction. So either sunlight or any artificial light. Sometimes you use UV light also. That way. Yeah, this is the answer. A lot of you have put G because you were typing it out. That is also absolutely correct. Kyunki product mein hai and it is specified as a gas, you can show it with an upward arrow. Okay, so this equation is not balanced at the moment. we'll look at the balancing. Actually, yeah. So bromine, so chlorine, bromine, fluorine, nitrogen, oxygen, all of that exists as a diatomic molecule. Like oxygen is O2. Whereas bromine is also Br2. So whenever you come across elemental chlorine, that will be written as Cl2. Nitrogen is N2. Okay. So if you have just sent in Br, whoever had written that, just make that correction. Bromine is Br2. Silver bromide, silver max, like the default majority of the time, it exists with valency +1. Okay, so silver bromide is AgBr. Samriddhi, you sent it correctly last time. Abhi क्यों change किया तुमने like Ag to Br?
Oh, ma'am, yeah. Actually, like I put the space between, so I forgot that silver bromide is actually like bonded. So, like the two will be in front of
Before,
Ag,
yeah.
and then, yeah, and we'll add it two in front of Ag on the RHS side as well.
Yes. Yeah. So now we'll get on to balancing. So balancing ka the whole point, the reason for balancing equations is to, okay, why do we balance equations? I think we discussed this last class.
It is needed to present the correct quantities of the substances involved in it according to the law of conservation of mass.
Yes. So why? To follow the law of conservation of mass. Do you guys remember what is the law of conservation of mass?
The mass of mass of reactants should be equal to mass of product.
Reactions may, yes, that is true. But where does that come from? Why should they be equal? What does this law state? Yeah, Grima.
Ma'am, the law states that the mass can neither be created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction.
Yeah. So matter cannot be created or destroyed in any process. Like that's a universal thing, especially in a chemical reaction. It just changes from one form to another. So basically, agar hum reactants में, if we take X number of atoms, X number of A atoms, Y number of B atoms, reaction होने के बाद भी we need to end up with X number of A atoms and Y number of B atoms. Like, so as Sujal said, the total mass, matlab total number of atoms on left hand side of the reaction, that is before the reaction, should be equal to the total number of atoms on right hand side of the reaction. Okay, so we can't lose any matter. You can't like randomly create matter. So why balance equations? It's in accordance with the law of conservation of mass. Also, another advantage with balancing is it gives the correct proportion of the reactants participating and products forming in the reaction. Now, this is important from an application point of view, like any chemical factory, like suppose you're creating any medicine or even simple substances like ammonia agar create kar rahe ho. Ammonia is a chemical that's used in fertilizer industry and a lot of other places. Do you guys know what is the formula for ammonia?
NH4.
NH4.
NH3. Close.
Oh,
H4 is ammonium ion. So this states a H plus. So NH4 plus is ammonium ion. But pure ammonia is NH3. So in order to prepare ammonia, it is prepared directly from the elements made up of nitrogen and hydrogen. So N2 plus H2 gives NH3. The balanced equation, if you look at it, it is N2 plus 3H2 gives 2NH3. Now, abhi agar if we want like a set quantity of ammonia, like for example, if we want to prepare 34 kilograms of ammonia, then we can't take any random quantity of N2 and H2. ये balanced equation से पता चलता है कि okay कितना nitrogen लेना है, कितना hydrogen लेना है. So it gives the correct proportion of the reactants that are participating and the products forming in the reaction. So that's like that's a advantage or application of balancing equations.
Ma'am,
And
but like after balancing, we got 2 NH3. So why don't we say that ammonia is 2 NH3? Like that number of reactants are participating and the product is forming. So why NH3 only?
So NH3 is the formula for ammonia. Like ammonia matlab we need one nitrogen that is bonded to 3 hydrogen atoms. This 2 represents that अगर हमने एक molecule of nitrogen लिया और 3 molecules of hydrogen लिया तो we will get 2 molecules of NH3. So that's what this 2 represents. It's not a part of the formula. It's just telling you कि कितने सारे molecules या कितने सारे moles of ammonia form हो रहे हैं.
Okay, ma'am.
So the basis for it is law of conservation of mass. कैसे balance करना है? According to it, total mass of reactants will be equal to total mass of products. So instead of taking individual masses, a shortcut method that we use for balancing is you just take the total number of atoms. क्योंकि हर एक nitrogen atom का mass तो same ही रहता है ना. So to keep things simple, instead of calculating the atomic mass, molecular mass, you directly take the number of atoms on each side when you're balancing it. Okay. So I can see a lot of you are noting it down. Just note down the points 1 and 2. These are important. If you don't know the law of conservation of mass, you can write down the statement. After that, we'll get right down to balancing. Okay.
Ma'am, the fourth point, total mass of reactants is equal to total mass of products. Is that like a formula that we have to use in some of the problems?
You won't have any numericals here, but this is what you will use in balancing. Again, I just said, right? So instead of mass, a shortcut way you use when you're balancing is total number of atoms of reactants will be equal to total number of atoms in the product side. Anyway, like this is what we're going to be discussing. It'll get clearer when we keep doing more examples. Okay. Before we go forward, whoever has finished writing, अपने स्कूल में ये concept खत्म हुआ होगा ना? Must have done this chapter. Yes, no?
Like the chapter started, but like we're still going on. It's not finished.
Okay, you haven't like reached balancing equations.
No, ma'am. We'll be doing that in the next class.
Okay. Rest of you for that?
Yeah, actually in our class we've done like types of reaction, like double displacement, decomposition and all.
Yeah.
We are going to oxidation and reduction now.
Okay. So balancing खत्म किया है or have they put it for like later?
We've done we've done a little bit of balancing, not in deep, but they've made us understand the concept, but we still have to do a lot of practice on that.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you were to rate balancing from 1 to 10, 1 is like मुझे balancing बिल्कुल नहीं आता है and 10 is like give me any equation, I'll be able to balance it. So where would you put it?
5.
Gosh, I'm sure you're a lot better than that.
3 or 4 maybe.
7 or 8.
Let's say 2 or 3.
Okay. Okay. Now I'm asking you guys because then based on that we'll do it.
For me, it depends on the equation. If it is really complicated, then I don't know what happens.
Yeah, अगर logic पता है तो like obviously expectation won't be कि reaction देखते ही like you won't automatically get the numbers right. You work it out. It's all like trial and error. That's one thing with balancing कि you may notice patterns as and when you're doing it, but it's always like trial and error. Even I at this point have to like if you give me any equation, it's going to be trial and error. I may skip some steps. That's only because I've had a lot more practice than you guys. But Whoever you give, it's going to be trial and error only. Okay. Lakshmi, have you finished noting? And can you rest your phone like against some wall or books or something? Like I can see your ceiling fan, I can't see you. Okay. Cool. That works. All right. Everybody, Shana, are you noting down or you finished?
Oh, I'm done.
Okay. Agrima, what about you?
I'm done.
Okay. Okay. The rule is whatever elemental atoms you have on LHS, the total number should be equal to the number of atoms on RHS. Like if I take the same example, N2 plus H2 gives NH3. नाइट्रोजन LHS में कितने एटम्स है टोटल? 2 और RHS में कितने एटम्स है टोटल नाइट्रोजन के? 1. So यहाँ पे 2 है, यहाँ पे एक ही है, which means that it is not balanced. So your aim is to make this particular number equal on both sides. How do you do that? Step 1, this is again more of a cosmetic thing until you guys get used to it. Draw boxes around each formula. The point is, if I have a formula, if I have N2, you will not change this to N24 or N2, N3 or anything like that. The formulas will not change. If I have NH3, this will remain NH3. You will not change this to N2H6 or something like that. Okay. So, अगर कोई compound है, element है, this particular formula will not change. अगर formula change हुआ मतलब the chemical itself changed, which gives completely different information. So that's quite important. Step 2. Again, these steps are only until you guys get comfortable enough and you have enough practice to do it mentally. Until then, I would suggest ki, just maintain this on the side. It'll help you. You don't have to keep all the numbers in your mind. Step 2, list the different atoms on LHS and RHS. So LHS may we have nitrogen and hydrogen. RHS may be we have nitrogen, hydrogen. What this means is, make this table LHS, RHS. Nitrogen के कितने हैं? LHS में there's 2, RHS में there's 1. Hydrogen के there's 2 here and there's 3 here. So this is step 2. Then step 3, start balancing with the compound containing maximum number of atoms. Balance by multiplying with a suitable number without altering the formula. The main thing, how do you balance thing, is to multiply that particular formula with a number. So for example, if we take nitrogen, nitrogen के LHS में 2 है, RHS में 1 है. So RHS में there's lesser number of atoms, right? How can you make 2 equal to 1? Like what number should you multiply this by to make it equal? 2. So instead of multiplying only nitrogen by 2, you're basically multiplying this whole box by 2. So that's the reason for the boxes. You're not changing the formula. If you multiply it with a certain number, you're multiplying the whole thing. So essentially what you're doing is, अगर कोई number नहीं है मतलब there is 1 molecule of NH3, ammonia. And by putting this 2 here, you're basically saying there's 2 molecules of NH3 now. So both nitrogen and hydrogen get multiplied. Okay, so अभी nitrogen got equalized. ये 1 हटा के ये 2 हो गया. Then hydrogen का क्या हुआ? Now how do you balance hydrogen? एक में 2 है, एक में 3 है. What can you do to make? नहीं, 3 नहीं, अभी तो ये 6 हो गया ना, क्योंकि 2 से
So then you multiply LHS with 3.
Yes.
Hydrogen with 3.
Yeah. This is lesser. So in order to make it equal, you can multiply this 2 into 3. So hydrogen go multiplied by 3. So 3 into 2, this also has become 6. So number of nitrogens, N is equal on both sides. H is also equal on both sides, which means our equation is now balanced. So N2 plus 3H2 gives 2NH3. That's the balanced equation. Okay, so it's all like, huh?
Ma'am, could you please repeat how we did this? I'm not sure.
Yeah. The next thing, we'll do it with an example only. We'll go there. So this is another example.
Can you 1 minute show the steps, ma'am?
Yeah, we'll be applying the steps only, Tia.
Did we note this down?
You don't need to. Like, the important point here is you should know how to balance it. You don't have to like know these steps. You won't always use the steps also like by the end of the year. This is just to like start you off. You don't have to note this down. Note this down. Red hot iron on reaction with steam gives a mixed iron 2,3 oxide. So for your convenience, the formula is also given here. Iron 2,3 oxide का मतलब है कि iron उस oxide में iron +2 और +3 दोनों है. That's why it is Fe3O4 and releases hydrogen gas. So this is the equation. Skeletal equation है. क्योंकि कोई state नहीं बता रहा है, balanced नहीं है. It is literally telling you what is reacting and what is being produced. So that's why we call it skeletal equation. So iron है Fe, steam is basically water H2O. It gives Fe3O4 plus hydrogen gas H2.
Mom, so should we try balancing it?
Yeah, you can start off, you can attempt balancing it if you want. Otherwise, we can do it together. I'll wait for you guys to like finish noting it down because I need you to pay attention when we're doing the balancing. Anika, good attempt, but hydrogen is not balanced, no? LHS may you put 4 H2O, but RHS may there's only H2O, like only 2 atoms of hydrogen. Sampriti got it. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so Anika, now you've done a balancing, but 4 is like a common factor in all of it, right? So you can like take that common and cancel it out. Sujal also got it. So Sujal and Samriddhi have finished. Anika is almost there. Okay. Kashvi, Shana, Dakshini, like, are you guys trying balancing or are you still noting this down? Kya kar rahe?
I've noted it down. I'm trying to balance it.
Okay. Now I'll change the screen then. Oh, process नहीं दिखाया. Never mind. So अभी balance करने के लिए LHS, RHS में what all atoms are involved? क्या क्या atoms है इस reaction में?
Iron.
Fe.
Fe is
I
or
Hydrogen.
H2.
Hydrogen and oxygen.
okay. Okay, just like take this as an informal rule. Whenever you have this sort of equation, no, leave hydrogen and oxygen to the last. Like start with elements other than hydrogen and oxygen. Okay. You can manipulate hydrogen oxygen or काफी सारे रहते हैं. Like hydrogen oxygen is like spread out. If you have a sulfate ion, उसमें रहता है, water में रहता है. So leave that to the end. Abhi starting with iron. Pretty easy. Like LHS में we have one ion. RHS में Fe3 matlab we have 3. So it's easy to get done with iron. What will you do to balance Fe?
3
Ma'am,
Fe.
we'll add
multiplied by
We'll multiply it by
Yes.
3 in the
Yeah.
LHS.
So if we multiply this by 3, it is literally not disturbing anything else in this whole thing. So it's very, very easy to figure this out. Okay, now let's look at hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen कितने हैं LHS में?
2.
2. RHS?
2.
2. Easy. Oxygen?
1.
1.
And RHS में?
4.
4.
Yeah, Tia, you had raised your hand. What's up?
Yeah, ma'am, I wanted to know what is the meaning of skeletal equation?
Oh, so I'd mentioned, right? So this equation, it's not balanced. It does not give you information about the states. कुछ नहीं देता है except for what are the reactants and what are the products. So it's like a bare bones version of an equation. So you call it like skeletal equation. Okay. Hydrogen though is balanced, but oxygen is not. Oxygen को balance करने के लिए क्या कर सकते हैं?
Ma'am, we'll add 4 to
multiply
H2O.
by 4 in the LHS.
Multiply, what are we multiplying by 4?
H2O.
FeCO4 or
H2.
H2O alone? Yes. You put 4 over here. Oxygen to balance हो गया. So this we made it 3. This we made it 4. But hydrogen disturb हो गया ना अभी. So this is, so LHS में how many hydrogen atoms do we have?
8.
8. So हर एक water molecule में we have 2 hydrogens. So that way we have 4 such water molecules. So 4 into 2, that's a total of 8. So RHS में balance करने के लिए what should we do?
4H2.
4H2. Yes. Now this also has become 8. So 3, 3, 8, 8, 4, 4. Now this is balanced. Okay. So take one element at a time. Don't try to do multiple things at the same time. Go step by step. It's okay if you are slow in the beginning. The point is it's basically like math. You just use logic, you use trial and error, and as you keep doing a lot more, you'll get better at it.
Could you please explain the hydrogen?
Was that Shana?
No. Could you please explain the hydrogen and oxygen part again? So,
हाँ. So before, okay, iron हो गया. ऐसा था ना? Okay, so this we made it 3. Now hydrogen, initially it's balanced, so we don't care about it. Don't look at it. But oxygen is not balanced. Where is oxygen lacking? Like which side is it less?
LHS.
LHS. So what can you do to make it equal?
Multiplied by 4.
Multiplied by 4. So 4 into 1 becomes 4. And यहाँ पे already 4 are.
Yeah.
But because we multiplied water, water has both hydrogen and oxygen, right? So hydrogen has gone out of balance now. So after multiplying by 4, we have 8 hydrogens here, and यहाँ पे the original 2 were there.
Yes.
Now, how do we balance hydrogen?
So then, since it's lacking on RHS, we multiply by 4 and then we
Yes.
Right.
That's it. Okay, so now this is balanced. So your final equation is this. Then red hot iron hai. So iron is a metal, this will be solid. Reaction with steam. So even though H2 is water, we said gaseous state क्योंकि ये steam के साथ ही react करता है. Gives iron oxide. This is basically rust ka equation. So when things are rusting, this is what is happening here. Water vapor se react karta hai iron, forming your red color ka rust, which is solid, gives hydrogen gas.
Ma'am, I had a doubt. Like the statement says gives a mixed iron 2 3. So like, how can there be iron with +1 +3 in the same equation? Like,
so the same atom will not show two valencies. So rust में you have both. It's a mixture of Fe2 plus, मतलब FeO and Fe2O3. दोनों oxides है iron के. It's a mixture of it. So combine करके they've just added it up and that's why it's denoted as Fe3O4. So 1 plus 2, it's a total of 3 Fe and O is 1 plus 3 O4. So it's a mixed oxide. तो FeO भी है और Fe2O3 भी है. Okay. We'll do a couple more. Solutions of barium chloride and sodium sulfate are mixed. पहले let's revise the formula. Barium का, what is the symbol for barium?
ma'am, is it Br?
Br is bromine. Barium
Is
is
it B?
Ba.
ठीक. और बेरियम का वैलेंसी पता है? नहीं? Yeah, this is a new one that you would get this year only. So Ba is 2 plus. Chloride?
Cl -2.
Cl?
-1.
-1 है chloride का. Did I send you guys the Quizlet ka link last class for you to learn all of this stuff? No? I'll send it up here. So whenever you're free, just like keep revising because this is where, like, I mean, this is stuff you need to know. Sodium,
Na.
valency,
Na plus.
plus. Sulfate,
SO4.
Hmm.
2 minus.
2 minus is correct. सोडियम ऑलरेडी है, क्लोराइड इधर है, बेरियम डिस्कस किया, सल्फेट किया. ठीक है. सो आई हैव गिवन यू इंडिविजुअल आयंस. तो वैलेंसी देख के वो क्रिस क्रॉस मेथड अप्लाई करके फॉर्म द फॉर्मूलास. If you want, like if you are not confident, you can send me the equation without balancing, and once I give you the okay, then you can like start balancing it. So first send me the unbalanced equation and उसके बाद balance it and then send it. Ashia, okay. Kashvi also has sent. Oh, few people have sent again. Megha, barium chloride, sulfate, sodium chloride. सही है. Kashvi, your skeletal equation is correct. You got it absolutely right. Now all you have to do is balance it. Then Ashia, formula you need to check it once. Barium is 2 plus, chloride is Cl minus, right? तो अगर ये दोनों मिला के formula, like if they formed a compound, Samriddhi, you also made the same mistake. So check that out.
I'm sorry, can you repeat?
Oh wait, Kashvi, you made a mistake in sodium sulfate. Baki sare are correct. Check that alone once and then you can balance it. Ashia and Samriddhi, Ashia, you got sodium sulfate correct. लेकिन barium chloride इधर गया. हाँ, barium chloride, if barium is उसका valency 2 है, chlorine का valency 1 है. तो if both of them form a compound, उसका formula क्या होगा? न्यूट्रलाइज करने के लिए कितने बेरियम चाहिए, कितने क्लोरीन चाहिए?
BaCl2.
हाँ, so barium chloride should be BaCl2. Samriddhi, even sodium sulfate, you need to correct it.
Yeah, I corrected.
Yeah, so Arshia got it correct. Product side में sodium chloride भी form हुआ ना, you missed out on that. So Arshia, correct the equation and send it, and then you can try balancing. Samriddhi, you pretty much like the react.
Yeah, no, it's messed up.
Then you can balance it. Anika has sent. Very nice. So Anika, sodium sulfate ka formula wrong hai. Once you correct it, I think balancing you'll get it. Sujal, your equation is not correct. सोडियम सल्फेट मिक्स होने के बाद सोडियम क्लोराइड फॉर्म हुआ भाई, सोडियम सल्फेट नहीं. फिर से read and write carefully. Okay, Anika, you sent BaSO4. Q. Yeah. Megha, yes. Megha is balanced, perfect. Actually, of course you got it. You get it. Balance it. There you go. Ashia, yes. You forgot to add that. वो भेज दिया. Balance it now. Shana, you need to balance it. Sodium sulfate ka formula you need to correct and then you need to balance it. Kashvi, no, like sulfate is SO4, no?
Yeah.
Sodium का valency is 1, sulfate का valency is 2 minus. तो क्या होगा? Sodium sulfate.
Oh, 1 minute. I'll just.
Sujal, Na2Cl कैसे आया?
Sorry, 2NaCl.
That's why I said put the boxes around the formula. You won't disturb that first. Anika, balanced. Yes. Agrima also. Okay, your equation is correct. You just need to balance it. Ashia, yes, the last one. Abhi jo bheja 328 ko, that is 100% correct. But couple of points, Ashia. Make it a habit even when you type to write it correctly so that exam mein you won't make that mistake. The capital letter, small letter, take care of it. And don't put equal to, okay? Arrow matlab just type in hyphen and the greater than, less than wala symbol. Because Lakshmi sent on WhatsApp. Let's say 2 minutes. Okay, sodium sulfate is correct. barium sulfate and sodium chloride, and it is all completely balanced. Very good. Dakshinya got it, got the hang of it. Okay, skeletal equation I'll write because most of you have gotten it. So barium chloride, if you don't know, if you don't remember, there's a reason I put it here, because barium and all, you would have come across it for the first time this year only. But how to create, like make the formula, that you should know. Valency 2 plus hai, 1 hai, crisscross method. So barium chloride is BaCl2 plus sodium sulfate, same thing. Valency is 1. This is SO4 2 minus. So this will be Na2SO4. Sujal, yes. Balanced is correct. Pura correct. Gives sodium chloride. Sodium is Na plus. Chloride is Cl minus. This will be NaCl plus. Let's erase this. Barium sulfate. Barium is Ba2 plus. Sulfate is this. So barium sulfate 2 plus 2 minus equal hai. That gets cancelled out. This will become BaSO4. Yeah, Kashvi, what's up?
Ma'am, how did like sodium sulfate be Na2SO4?
क्योंकि सोडियम इज Na प्लस एंड सल्फेट इज SO4 2 माइनस, तो इसको न्यूट्रलाइज करने के लिए यू नीड 2 प्लस 2 ऑफ सोडियम, तो प्लस like 2 plus 2 minus equal हो जाएगा. So that you guys would have learned it as that crisscross method, no? Na plus है, SO4 2 minus है, crisscross method 2 इधर आ जाएगा, 1 इधर आ जाएगा, so you get Na2SO4.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Here. अभी skeletal equation दिया मैंने, balance it guys. I will just ओके अभी किसी ने व्हाट्सएप पे भेजा शना. ओके equation is correct but it is not balanced. Wait, pencil में you have written it. पेंसिल में वो like NaCl का NaCl2 कैसे हो गया?
I'm sorry, I'll correct it.
Yeah. Skeletal equation is correct. Yeah, the formulas and all are correct. Only the balancing you need to look at and do it. Samriddhi, yes, you got it. Awesome. So I'll give you guys another tip when you come across equations like this. So whenever you have ions like sulfate, nitrate and all that, if sulfate is decomposing like LHS, RHS, दोनों में sulfate है. If it is not decomposing, if it's not breaking down, treat it as a single unit. क्योंकि सल्फेट में number of sulfur, number of oxygen is going to be the same. So treat it as okay, this is another atom only. Usse, that's like one less element you need to take care of. You don't have to look at sulfur and oxygen individually. यहाँ पे एक सल्फेट है, यहाँ पे भी एक सल्फेट है. So that way it makes it easier. But that is only if you have like sulfate in LHS and RHS. Like atoms like sulfate, nitrate. When you have like group of atoms that are not going to break down, no? अगर LHS में भी है, RHS में भी है, तो treat it as a single unit. It makes the balancing easier. Shouldn't take so long, guys. See, barium एक है, barium एक ही है. Chlorine, 2, there's 2 here, which means this you need to multiply by 2. Sodium इधर 2 है, इधर भी 2 हो गया multiply करने के बाद, so that's balanced. Sulfate, like sulfur and oxygen, same equal number है, LHS, RHS. So all you needed to do was multiply NaCl by 2. That's the only balancing required. There's nothing else to balancing. Like you just pick one atom, see if the numbers are equal. If they're equal, move forward. If they're not equal, then see what you need to multiply it by. That's all there is to balancing. Okay. Should we do the next one? Okay. Shana, Arshia, Agrima, Anika.
Just a second.
My water.
When you guys are ready, once you guys got the hang of it, simple. Like once you write the equation, no. So, यहाँ पे total 3 steps you need to look at. One is the formula of all the compounds that are involved. वो आना चाहिए. Once you figure this out, write the equation, the skeletal equation, so that you haven't missed out on any this thing. Reactants, products, सारे आ गए. Then third part is just balancing. So balancing maybe you start from one element, either start with barium, start with sodium, कोई भी चलेगा. See if they are equal or not. अगर equal है तो go to the next element. So एक के बाद एक के बाद एक के बाद, you just have to do it. That's it. No confusion. Okay. All right. Should we go to the next question then?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Working of it. Okay. Oh, types of reactions. Okay. I'll give you guys some equations just so you guys get that. Yeah, equation. Okay, we'll do an acid-base equation. Should I give you the equation directly, or should I give it to you in words?
Ma'am, in words.
Actually, before we proceed, 1 second. Who is this? Kashvi. Why is it not 2 NaCl2? Because sodium chloride ka formula is NaCl, na? And you're just multiplying the whole, both NaCl itself by 2. You're not going to change the formula of NaCl. Okay. Keep that in mind. Whenever you're balancing, you're multiplying the whole thing by 2. You can't change the formula. Do not change the formula. Okay. So we'll do just pure balancing for now. थोड़ी देर के लिए. Zinc plus HCl gives zinc chloride plus hydrogen gas. So I've given you guys this thing. So all you need to focus on is balance the thing. Again, till you guys get used to it, do it if you have to. No changing the formula, draw the boxes. Anything inside the boxes will not change. So whatever number you multiply it goes outside the box. Nice. Anika is the first one to do it. Good. Correct. Samriddhi also got it. Nice.
That is Zn, right?
Yeah. Zinc. Who is this? Dakshanya. Yes, got it. Oh, इधर अनिका के बाद मेघा. Yes. Ashia, almost there. Zinc is not balanced. Check that. Shana got it. Yes. Sujal got it. Yes. Who else is here to send? Kashvi is here to send. Agrima, have you sent?
No.
So, Ashia, I think you noted it wrong. Zinc chloride is ZnCl2. You noted the question wrong. इसलिए थोड़ा गलत आ गया तुम्हारा.
Can I send it to you on WhatsApp?
Yeah, absolutely. Who is this? Kashvi sent on WhatsApp. Kashvi got it. Correct. So, yeah. Here. So Ashia and Agrima, you guys correcting and sending? Okay. Agrima
Yes.
sent it. Yeah. It's not 2N, this is zinc Zn, Agrima. Zinc ka formula is Zn. Okay. But otherwise, yeah, balancing is correct. You got it. So pretty much all of you have gotten it. Ashia, you just need to correct it. Zinc is balanced. There's one. Next, only hydrogen and chlorine. There's 2 of chlorine, there's 2 of hydrogen. So you just need to multiply this by 2 and it gets balanced. Okay. All right, next one. We'll do a proper acid-base reaction now. H2SO4, this is sulfuric acid plus क्या हो सकता है? Calcium hydroxide is a good one. CaOH twice. Oh yeah, this is a good one. Gives calcium sulfate is CaSO4 plus water, H2O. So यहाँ पे there's a little twist कि OH twice brackets में है. So how will you count the number of atoms in this sort of a situation? So OH as a unit, you've taken it twice. So total number of atoms, there's 2 of oxygen and 2 of hydrogens. So that's how we'll count it. Okay. And as always, take care that you don't change the formula. H2SO4 ka, keep it as H2SO4, don't make it HSO4 and all. Draw a box to prevent that. CaOH twice will be CaOH twice. Don't change that. CaSO4 and this is H2O.
Hit.
Okay, Sanskriti has sent. Sanskriti, you got it. Absolutely right. Simple. Counting the atoms is the thing, but once you get the hang of it, like balancing is very simple. Like one step, get it. Sujal also sent, and Sujal also got it. Dakshanya also sent, and Dakshanya also got it. Very good. Yeah, it's not compulsory for you to draw boxes. This is more of a precaution until you guys get the hang of it. So if you're doing it correctly, you don't need to. One more person has sent. Who is this? Kashvi. You got it. Yes. Sujal, okay, already mentioned. So 4 people have sent it.
Ma'am, I wanted to ask, I'm still confused between the physical states. Like, I've sent you 2 answers and I'm still not writing the physical states in any of them. Could you please explain me again?
Yeah. The physical state, simple, like if at all you have any sort of salt, like you have acid base, salt is formed. So if you know that solution mein ho raha hai, like even that barium chloride and sodium sulfate wala reaction, it's like when solutions of these two things are mixed, then something else is formed, right? So whenever you come across the word like solutions, or if it's like an acid-base reaction, all of those cases, the physical state is going to be aqueous. Because all of this, you're not going to take 100% pure stuff. It's going to be dissolved in water. Water का physical state क्या है? Like this is more of a common sense thing. Room temperature में क्या होता है?
Liquid.
Liquid. Unless and until it is specified. Like that ion wala reaction में, it said that ion reacts with steam. Abhi it's not reacting with normal liquid water, it's reacting with steam. So us time pe you use gas as the physical state. So if it is like a precipitate, वो solid form में आ रहा है, like it's not dissolved anymore. So in that case, use a downward arrow, or you can put solid there. That way, you know, like, so it's more of try to figure out how you're going to do the reaction. That will give you a hint कि क्या हो सकता है.
I got it. Thank you so much.
Okay, so Kashvi has sent in, Samriddhi sent, Sujal has sent, Dakshanya has sent, Megha, Shana, Arshia, Anika, Agrima.
Yes, ma'am, I'm just doing it. Just a minute.
Okay, whoever has finished it, like this will be for you guys. Think of it as a bonus. Okay. Hydrogen peroxide decomposes into water and oxygen. Balance this. Shana got it. Yes. Megha also got it. Nice. Whoever has finished with this, attempt, you can like attempt this. So this is hydrogen peroxide. I don't know how many of you must have heard it. Hydrogen peroxide. H2O2. So this is poisonous, like do not drink H2O2. It is used for bleaching purposes and like normal cleaning and disinfecting purposes. And it's also used in like a fun reaction because it releases oxygen gas. Or elephant toothpaste. And yet another reason why you need to be very, very careful about the formula. Don't change it because it's very, very similar to water, but it is not at all the same as water. All right. Akrima, Ashia. What's happening, guys? Like, are you stuck somewhere? Okay, Ashia, not understanding how to balance elements are coming. Okay, so that's where it's confusing, right? So like start off with just listing out the number of this thing. So LHS may we have calcium, LHS, RHS basically. So we have calcium, we have hydrogen, we have oxygen, you have sulfur. And remember, like, see, one thing you can see is यहाँ पे reaction में LHS and RHS दोनों में sulfate is coming as a unit, right? So instead of trying to divide it as sulfur and oxygen, let's treat it as let's treat sulfate as a unit, because that has not broken apart at all from LHS and RHS. अभी let's see, start with metals, calcium, क्योंकि वो सबसे आसान होता है. हाइड्रोजन ऑक्सीजन एकदम एंड में रख लो, बिकॉज अगेन मल्टीपल इसमें हो जाता है. सो लाइक बैलेंस द रेस्ट ऑफ इट फर्स्ट, देन कम टू हाइड्रोजन ऑक्सीजन इन द एंड. कैल्शियम there's one, so this you don't have to disturb at all, एक है. Hydrogen oxygen, leave it for end. Sulfate also, there's 1 unit of sulfate here, 1 unit of sulfate here, like 1 sulfur 4 oxygen, 1 sulfur 4 oxygen. So this is also 1, not disturbed. Now hydrogen and oxygen. LHS में कितने hydrogens है total? Couldn't catch that, Ashi. I think you have one. Okay, you sent it on chat. 4, yes. 2 plus 2 over here, 4. RHS में कितने?
2.
Now RHS में hydrogen is there only in water, right? So it would be easy to balance this out. How would you balance this? Balance hydrogen?
Into 2.
Which one into 2? Sulfuric acid or water?
Or water.
Water. So this will be multiplied by 2. So hydrogen also has become 4 now, balanced. Now check oxygen. ये ऑक्सीजन हमने काउंट नहीं करना चाहिए बिकॉज ये सल्फेट में काउंट हो गया. तो यहाँ पे 2 ऑक्सीजन्स. देन RHS में we'll count only the oxygen of water, 2 oxygens. This is also balanced. Yeah. So this would be the balanced equation. So that's why I said, like, whenever you come across sulfate, nitrate, which is not changing, like if it is changing LHS, RHS mein, it's a completely different thing. But if it is not changing LHS mein or RHS mein, treat it as a single unit and ignore that. Like if you have hydrogen oxygen, count the hydrogen oxygen other than the ones present in sulfate. Okay, that makes it simpler. Okay. So Saturday ko when we do questions, no, we'll do a lot more equations. I think we'll come across a lot more equations also when we're doing this thing. Abhi ke liye, let's start with the types of equations. This again, like you guys have, you're saying that you've done it in school, right? So yeah, Samriddhi, what's up?
Ma'am, will you be posting the recording of Saturday and Sunday, like the previous physics classes?
So, Samriddhi, yeah, you mentioned, right? So, Saturday, Sunday, ko, there's nothing new that's going to happen. It is going to be practice sessions only. So, jo bhi practice kar rahe, wo Flipper se hi kar rahe. So, what you can do is open Flipper app and do those same questions. Okay. So, I say conceptually.
Yeah, so you're not teaching anything.
Yeah, there's no teaching that's going to happen there. Flipper ke question, see? Okay. Yeah, Kashvi.
Ma'am, actually, could we solve that bonus one? It's actually really interesting to solve. Yet it's really difficult.
Oh,
Ma'am, even I sent that answer. Can you check?
Sujal has sent. Anika and Sujal have sent it. मुझे calculate करके देखना पड़ेगा. 2H2O2. So hydrogen is 2.
Mama, on WhatsApp.
WhatsApp, हाँ message आए हैं.
Ma'am, 2H2O2, so 4 on 4
hydrogen,
4H on
4.
left side and 4 on 4O on left side. So 2H2O plus O2. So 2 2s are 4 and then
हाँ,
2.
yeah,
So
yeah. सबका आ गया. Like whoever has sent the answer, they all got it. Okay. Again, same thing. Okay, इसमें कुछ नहीं. There's only hydrogen and oxygen. So LHS, RHS अगर देखते हैं, hydrogen LHS में कितने हैं total?
2.
RHS में
2.
oxygen
2.
2, RHS में
3.
अभी hydrogen is balanced, oxygen is not, so we'll need to focus on oxygen. Now the twist here is oxygen 3 है, यहाँ पे 2 है. How would you equalize, like how would you make equal, both of them equal?
Ma'am, we can do 2H2O2. So like hydrogen and oxygen both will become 4 on LHS, and then we'll write 2H2O. So that becomes 4 hydrogen and 2 oxygen here plus O2, so 4 oxygen.
हाँ,
So
दोनों हो गए. Yeah, there you go. So always focus on the part which has lesser number of atoms. So to start with, oxygen is less on this side. There's only 2 of them. So what you can do is you have to multiply this by either 2 or 3. If you multiply this by 3, this becomes 6. Then 5 plus 1 करना थोड़ा difficult हो जाएगा. So let's not go there. If I multiply this by 2, this becomes 4. Now यहाँ पे it is reduced. One lucky thing we have is यहाँ पे 2 oxygen है, यहाँ पे 1 oxygen है. Like the 3 is not like O3, it is split between both. So just multiplying this by 2, we get 2 plus 2, 4. Then oxygen set हो गया. Now see if hydrogen is disturbed or not. Hydrogen यहाँ पे 4 हो गया, यहाँ पे भी 4 हो गया. That's also balanced, so we don't have to do anything. So 2H2O2 gives 2H2O plus 1O2.
How did the oxygen get balanced? Because when we wrote 2H2O, won't it get like 5?
How did it become 5?
Yeah, I did it wrong. Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Cool. So we'll get to this one, types of reactions. So types of reactions like this, a lot of you are familiar with. Some of, or so you can classify reactions either based on the energy changes, what is happening to the energy when the reaction is taking place, or you can classify them based on the reactants or products में क्या हो रहा है, like what is happening in terms of arrangement of this thing. So based on energy changes, you have exothermic, endothermic reactions. Have you guys come across these types pehle? Have you heard of what is exothermic, what is endothermic? Guys, you have to answer.
Endothermic is when the heat supplied to a reaction is more than the heat got from the reaction, and exothermic is when the heat is the byproduct.
Yeah, absolutely. So net energy change, like obviously sometimes you'll be supplying energy and the reaction also gives energy of its own. But overall, if you see that energy is released मतलब वो heat हो सकता है या फिर light हो सकता है या फिर sound भी हो सकता है, in some cases explosion हुआ तो. So you see energy in the form of heat is pretty obvious, heat and light, like coal smoldering, heat is released. Fire, magnesium burning, yeah, paper burning, when you literally have flame, that's both heat and light. So energy is being released. Sound, if there's like an explosion, energy is released. So all of that is exothermic reaction. Endothermic is when energy is absorbed. Most obvious example I can think of is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis में क्या हो रहा है?
They're absorbing sunlight.
Yes. So photosynthesis will not take place until and unless there's sunlight, right? Because it needs to absorb that energy in order to get that reaction happen. So that's like an example of endothermic. And based on reactants and products, we have combination, decomposition, displacement reactions, and oxidation reduction is based on like the transfer of electrons. Like is there electrons being lost by an element, gained by an element, all of that. Okay, so we'll look at this each one by one. So reactions in which heat or energy is released, evolved, liberated, all of these mean the same thing. So energy is given out, they're exothermic. In order to remember it, you can exo is like exit. So energy is exiting from the reaction. And how can you identify exothermic reactions? Like, can you figure out reaction को देखते ही ये वो exothermic है या endothermic है?
Maybe the rising.
Ma'am, if heat is written on the arrow, then it is endothermic, and if heat is written in the product and the arrow is facing upwards, then I guess it is exothermic.
वो equation से okay, that is a very good indicator. लेकिन
No, ma'am.
in real life, like अगर कोई
No, ma'am.
lab में experiment चल रहा है, why
Ma'am,
can't
like
you
the
figure out?
rising temperature, because the heat is getting liberated, so we'll feel the hotness if we like put the hand
Yes.
above it or something. So like the water also boiling, so there's heat.
Yes. So you can absolutely find out. But you don't want to put your hand in like boiling water, right? So what is another way you can detect heat release हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है? What tool can you use?
Ma'am, the boiling of a solution.
What if there is heat being released, but इतना नहीं कि solution boil हो रहा है? What?
Ma'am, you can check the test tube.
With what?
Your finger.
Do you want to burn your finger, Suja?
No, ma'am, from the side.
Can we like just put the thermometer above the like
Yes.
the heating
Arshia
thing?
and Samriddhi are the sensible ones in this class. Use a thermometer, guys. Like other energy release hua, to what will you see in a thermometer?
Ma'am, but the question was when there was only the reaction and the person involved. There was no thermometer involved in it.
Thermometer lab में मिल जाएगा ना? So like I said,
Ma'am, but you told how do you see that heat is produced when you touch it or see it? You didn't tell the thermometer part.
I didn't specify. I said like let's say you're in a laboratory and कोई reaction चल रहा है. How do you figure out if it's exothermic or endothermic? And I also asked like what tool will you use to give you guys a hint for that. Use the stuff around you. Like okay. So what will you observe in the thermometer अगर वो exothermic है तो?
The temperature will rise.
Temperature rises. Heat is given out. Okay. And endothermic का एकदम opposite है. So if you put a thermometer in an endothermic reaction, what will you observe in the thermometer?
The temperature will decrease, like fall in temperature.
Yes. Endothermic, even if we are not supplying any energy, it will absorb energy from the surroundings. So if you touch it, it'll be cool to touch. If you put a thermometer, temperature is going to fall. Okay. This is what we discussed, Abhi, the points that we discussed. Exothermic, the temperature of the reaction vessel rises, and observation kya hoga? You can see it as a flame, heat energy, light energy. Ya fir only light is also possible. You guys must be on the internet, no? You must be scrolling like Instagram, Twitter, jo bhi hai. Have you guys?
No, ma'am.
Yes.
No?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if at all you've seen it on the internet, have you seen this? Today beaches made this like glow in the dark algae, bioluminescent algae.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if you haven't seen it, real life may have you seen fireflies at any point of time?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
What is special about those things?
They glow in the dark.
They glow in the dark, yes. So where is that light coming from? Like they don't have bulbs and electricity and all that, right? So how is
Something
that
from inside.
inside its body? Yes. What is happening inside its body?
Light is like I don't know, something weird is happening.
It's a chemical reaction that's happening. So bodies may, just like we have all these enzymes and a lot of reactions happening inside our own body, right? So that way fireflies ke body mein they have a special enzyme which in certain conditions, like it depends on what life cycle they are and what weather it is and all that. Under certain conditions, when they release that enzyme, some biochemical process is happening, biological process. A byproduct is that it's an exothermic reaction and light is produced as a result. So that's why we see fireflies ka light. Okay. So whenever you come across that sort of a reaction, so that's called bioluminescence. Looks like a complicated word, but it's not. So if you break it apart, bio, basically biological organisms may, like living organisms may, luminescence. You guys must have read about luminous bodies and all, right? So when you have a chemical process in a living thing that's giving out light, so that process, that phenomenon is called bioluminescence. Like illumination, luminescence, same words. So that's another example of exothermic reaction that you find in nature. Okay. So endothermic, again, way you identify is the temperature falls and energy is absorbed. It can be provided. Okay, endothermic may you can give heat energy by heating the solution. That's how the reaction happens. Like this is what Sujal was talking about. Arrow pe agar heat likha hua hai to, or you can give it as light energy. Photosynthesis was one example. फिर वो silver bromide reaction भी देखा था हमने. Exposure to sunlight, then it decomposes into silver metal bromine gas. So वहाँ पे it's an endothermic reaction or light is the energy we are providing. या फिर electricity भी दे सकते हैं. Have you guys come across any reactions with electricity being provided in your lower classes anywhere? क्या होगा ना तुम लोगों ने? Have you guys remember? Do you guys remember electrolysis of water?
Ma'am, it was supposed to be in a potion, but then they cancelled it out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
Okay. No issues. We will be coming across. We'll be studying about electrolysis also in that thing. So lots of reactions where you take a vessel, then you pass electricity through it, and there's a chemical reaction that happens in that vessel. Okay. Yeah, these are like the basics of exothermic and endothermic reactions. Then examples, okay, yeah, there you go. Combustion, any sort of combustion, any sort of burning, whether you're burning magnesium, whether you're burning carbon, whether you're burning methane gas, all the combustion reactions are exothermic. Heat, light, sare produce ho rahe.
Ma'am, here it's written C plus O2 gives 2 CO2. So why it's 2, like without 2 the equation is already balanced, right?
Yeah, 2 should not be there. A mistake add hua hoga. Yeah. यहाँ पे 2 MgO था ना मतलब typo हो गया.
That, mom, why haven't we written MgO2 to MgO2?
Magnesium oxide का formula क्या है सुजल? Magnesium का form, like what is the valency of magnesium?
Okay, I get it now.
Oxygen is 2 minus. तो अगर ये दोनों मिला के एक compound form किया तो +2 minus get cancelled, it'll just be MgO.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Flaking of lime. This is a new reaction you haven't come across. So you might have seen this in like normal life. Agar construction koi ki jagah, if you go and if you observe, that's where you will see this happening a lot. Quicklime is calcium oxide. And it's not some exotic chemical. Like quicklime is your chuna. Like whitewashing may be used with that. That's what it is. Okay. So calcium oxide, CaO, commonly called quicklime, everyday life. So when you dissolve that in water, you get calcium hydroxide. Uska again, real world name, common name is slaked lime. Slaked lime is just one word, one name for it. It is also called lime water. Okay. And you must be seeing some pattern here. Quicklime is CaO, slaked lime is calcium hydroxide. So typically, koi bhi common name mein, if you see lime, we're not talking about the lemon lime wala thing. We're talking about the chemical lime. It's basically a compound of calcium, Ca. So just saying day before yesterday, ये वाला reaction in Hindi.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
She told us to write chuna plus pani is equal to chuna pani.
Easy to remember, na? Yeah, this is chuna, like lime water, chuna pani. That's what it is. But as a hack, like in exam, anywhere, in any question, if you come across lime, it's a calcium ka compound. Similarly, limestone, another word for marble is calcium carbonate. ये भी future में हम देखेंगे, but yeah, just letting you know. Again, lime है, it's a calcium का compound. So usually if you come across lime in the name, it's calcium ka compound. If you come across soda in the name, it's a sodium ka compound, like baking soda, washing soda, sare caustic soda is a hoga. Just a note. Okay, but coming back to this lime wala equation, quick lime CaO when dissolved in water, chuna plus pani gives you chuna pani, lime water, calcium hydroxide. Yeah. So you can see bowl of water, he's putting like the quick lime rocks in it. So without doing anything, you can see that it's like boiling pura automatically. Violently boiling. So that's because reaction between lime and water is exothermic. A lot of heat energy is released that it is sufficient to boil this essay automatically. Okay. So this sort of trivia is important because if when you're asked question, it'll be like a compound X, which is typically used in constructions or it's typically used in whitewashing. When dissolved in water, it's an exothermic reaction, gives another compound Y, and then they'll continue like that. So these are like hints for you to identify what is the compound X. So, yeah. So this is the equation: calcium oxide, lime plus water gives CaO, slaked lime or lime water. Okay, it's 420. So what all do we have? Endothermic है. उसके बाद we'll look at these equations, right? ठीक है. So endothermic, we'll do the rest of it from the next class onwards. Okay. So this weekend we'll practice a lot of balancing, and Flipper pay, if at all you get questions based on types of reactions, if you guys are confident, if you know about it, we'll do that. Otherwise we can continue on in the next class. Yeah, but we'll try
Yes, ma'am.
and balance it. How do you guys feel